said I was so dirty, my mom wouldn't recognize me.
Hey, that's pretty good, Slim. Well, hey, everybody. Jeff Williams here, and
Slim.
That's right. Well, that's Jeff Williams. What are we doing today? Well, today I got something really important to talk about, and it's kind of dangerous, but I think we should go over it, huh, Slim?
Yep.
Now, Slim taught me how to do this the right way, and I'm going to teach you how to do it the right way, because there's always a right way and a wrong way, huh, Slim?
That's right. Chump.
Hey, but before we do that, I'm going to name off a whole bunch of new patrons we got. Does that sound good, Slim?
Go ahead.
Okay, here we go. All right, Slim, I'm going to read these off.
Sounds good
All right,
to
the
me.
first one we got is George C. Scott. George C. Scott?
Wow.
You remember George C. Scott, huh, Slim?
Oh, yeah.
I think you've been in a couple of his films. I've been wanting to say that all day. Woo, George C. Scott, man, I know he's been in a lot of movies. I got Robert Simon. You remember that show, Simon and Simon?
Yeah, I remember.
Okay. Aaron Salzman, Dwayne Mattis. Hey, Dwayne. And Zant H. Burdine. Burdine? Am I pronouncing that right, Slim?
I hope so, chump.
Ooh, I hope I'm pronouncing that right. So me and Slim want to give you a big cowboy yeehaw and thank you for helping us keep the dream alive. Ain't that right, Slim?
That's right.
All right, here we go. You're pretty good at that, Slim. Anyway, we just want to say thank you to all our patrons out there for helping us keep the dream alive. Like what we're going to be doing today, that's right. We're going to be doing amalgamation. Told you I wanted to do a video on this. A lot of people don't want to do this stuff because it's kind of dangerous. And it is, but if you know what you're doing, you can actually get a lot more gold from your concentrates. Anyway, we're going to get started on this. Now I'm going to teach you the way we do it, the way Slim taught me how to do it. And that way we can show you all the ins and outs of this and where to get the equipment. Sound good to you? Sound good to me too, huh, Slim?
That's right, chump.
So you know what I'm going to say, huh? Hey, Slim, you know what I'm going to say, huh?
Say it. Go ahead.
Okay, so come on. Let's go. I want you all to pay attention, huh, Slim?
Uh-huh.
Because I'm going to be going over some things that are really dangerous. But if you use them the right way, it'll work out just fine. And actually, you'll get a lot more gold from your black sands and your concentrates. So, you know what amalgamation is, don't you, Slim?
I hope you do.
You probably invented amalgamation. All that means is I'm going to be using mercury, because mercury has a strong affinity for gold. And when the two come in contact, if the gold is clean, the mercury will suck it right up. The old timers used to use it in their gold pans, and they could put the mercury in there and it'd suck up all the fine gold. They wouldn't have to deal with it by panning and stuff like that. And then also the big companies, they'd put the mercury on these big copper plates at the end of the stamp mill, so after the stamp mill ground up all the material, it passed through the screen and would flow over the top of the copper plate. Now mercury will stick to copper and it'll sit there, and when the gold flows over it, it'll pull the gold in. Now before we get into this, I gotta tell you something about amalgamation. Now if you're gonna be using mercury on your placer gold, you gotta clean your placer gold first. Are you hearing me? And the reason why is because it's got a lot of contaminants on it. And if there's any contaminants on it, well, then it ain't gonna stick to mercury very well. I can tell you that right now. That if gold has come right out of hard rock, it's clean, man, that gold will stick right to it, won't it? Huh, Slim?
Sure enough.
So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go over both processes, because I know a lot of you out there got questions, and I don't want you to have questions. I want you to know everything. And I'm gonna show you the process of how you clean your gold, if it's placer, before you put the mercury in. Now, you can either put it in the gold pan like the old timers did, or you can put it in one of these rock tumblers like what we're going to do, which is much more efficient. I'm going to show you how to do the placer first. Doesn't that sound good, Slim?
Sounds good to me.
You know what I'm going to say, huh?
Say it.
Alright, so come on. Let's go! How are we going to clean our gold? I recommend getting a large professional rock tumbler like this one. We got this one from A&B. Now, I highly recommend A&B Prospecting and Mining Supply Company, because they're one of the few shops that still sells mercury. And we got a lot of mercury from them, and we got the rock tumbler too. And I recommend these rock tumblers because they're set up for doing just what we're doing today, okay? You're going to need a whole bunch of stainless steel balls to put in that rock tumbler. See that? About 1 inch and a 3/4 inch, about 10 and 10 of each. You're going to need some mercury. And of course, when you get your mercury, make sure you store it in glass, not aluminum. Never put mercury in aluminum. And always store it with water. Are you hearing me? You always keep your mercury underwater. Always. Even when you're working with it, panning with it, everything. You never let it get exposed. You're going to need a little snuffer. you can get a pipette to suck up the mercury when you're working with it. We couldn't find a pipette, so we got one of these little ear cleaners. It works pretty good. And you're gonna need a set of tweezers. And then you're gonna need some lye. I like this stuff. I got this at Ace Hardware. It's 100% lye. And lye is also known as sodium hydroxide and caustic soda. But you want 100% because that'll clean the gold really, really well. And like I said, if you can't do that, then get some of these really powerful clog drainers. The last step is the recovery of the gold out of the amalgam. Remember, I told you when gold and mercury come together, they make an amalgam. It's like a ball, and it's got mercury all over it. You're thinking, Jeff, how do I get the mercury off of the gold? Well, there's two ways that I know really well that Slim taught me. Is we're going to use the little doggy here. I call it the little dog. Doesn't that look like a little doggy to you, Slim?
Sure does.
This is a retort. Okay, we're going to be retorting. All that means is I'm going to be heating up the mercury and the gold, the amalgam, inside of this little vessel chamber. And then what happens is the vapors go through this water jacket. This is going to be filled with water. And then it's going to come out the tail section, into a small pan. And it's going to be recondensed. So this is like a small still. And that's one way. A lot of people like to use these retorts. And of course the other way is to use nitric acid. And what you do is you put your amalgam inside a glass container and you put some nitric acid in there. And what happens is the nitric acid eats up all the mercury. And it also dissolves the silver if you got any silver mixed in with your gold. So you'll have pure gold at the very end. Now you're thinking, Jeff, how do I get my mercury back out? All you got to do is put copper in with that, and in the next morning you're going to have mercury attached to that copper, and you just scrape it off. Oh, and of course a good set of gloves and goggles, eye protection, that's must. Now we're going to take all this over, and I'm going to show you how you put it all together the right way. Hey Slim, does that sound right to you?
Sounds right to me.
Alright, so you know what I'm going to say, huh?
Say it.
No, you say it.
Okay.
Alright, so come on.
Let's go.
Let's go. First thing you're going to do is, and you're going to dump the concentrates into the drum, just like such. Get them all in there. Alright, I think I got them all in there. Now I got this thing about half full with water. Then I'm going to take my 20 balls that I got right here, dump them in there. And you better be real careful with this. You're going to take a tablespoon of this and dump it in there. And that's about a tablespoon. A big tablespoon. Go ahead and put your lid on. And then take it over to your tumbler. Woo, look at this, Slim. You want to have a drink?
No thanks.
I think you already had a drink once.
Thumbs up.
This stuff will really put hair on your chest. Alright, I like to clean my drum off before I put it in the tumbler.
Yeah.
Make it all nice and pretty. And then you just set it in the tumbler. Now there's no on and off switch on these tumblers, so you're just going to plug it in.
Round and round we go.
Now, you're going to let that tumble for about 2 hours, maybe 3. Now that you let that thing tumble for about 2 or 3 hours, what you're going to do is you're going to drain off all that nasty lye that was in there. And then you're going to put in fresh water. Now you can't put the mercury straight in with the lye and tumble it that way. And a lot of guys do that. It does work. It is very effective. But I like to rinse it out and get some fresh water in there before I put my mercury in it. I think it just helps a little bit, but it'll work either way. When you get your mercury, you're going to always want to work over what? Water. Remember I told you about that? That's right. Now, you're going to want to put it in a container like this. You can get these at Walmart. And so what I do is I fill it up about halfway with water, and then I'll put it over inside my gold pan. So when you go to transfer it from your shipping container, make sure it's sitting in your gold pan with some water, just like such. And then you just dump it in. See that? I already went and put my fresh water in there. You see that? Is I'm going to dump my mercury straight from here right into there. See that? I'm going to put the lid back on, and I'm going to tumble it for about an hour and a half. Woo! Okay. Now, after letting that tumble for about an hour and a half, you're going to open that bad boy up, and I'm going to show you how to get the amalgam away from all that other nasty black sand that has nothing in it. Alright, I'm going to drain some of my water off into here. See how nasty that is? Got to get all my steel balls out of there now. And wash these off. Go ahead and Get my steel balls in there. Alright, I got a whole bunch of black sands and mercury left in there. Put some more water in there. One more time, clean it out. There we go. If you're working with a lot of material and a lot of mercury, the best way to do this is to pan a little at a time. Unless you're real good at getting mercury out, and you're gonna need one of these. It's a chamois, and you know that. It's a jimmy jammy with my chamois. Just like you're panning normally. Nice and gentle. I can already see that mercury. See that mercury trying to come out of there? I don't know if you can see that. See that? Where it's already trying to come out. Now when you go to suck this out, remember, tilt it up. Don't go like this, because the mercury will come out. So you're gonna suck it up. Tilt it up this way. Go over into your glass jar, just like that. Oh, look at that, got a ball of amalgam right there. You see that? That nice chunky amalgam. And that's where your tweezers come in. Nice chunk of amalgam. Now I still got mercury in there, and I got amalgam in there too. You're gonna try to, see right there, I got another ball of mercury right there. See that? See where he just came out? I'm gonna go ahead and, it looks like he's got some amalgam stuck in it. I can see that from here. See that? Little ball of amalgam. Right there, see that? That's a ball of amalgam. Alright, now I got all my amalgam out, and I got most of my mercury out. And I still have a little bit of material left in my pan, you see that? Now don't throw that out. I still have little tiny pieces of mercury in there that I don't want to get rid of, because I want my mercury and I don't want to contaminate everything. You're going to get some water and you're going to put them back into your drum. Just like that. And then you'll use that for the next batch. Now we got everything in here. See that? Isn't that pretty? You're gonna take your chamois. Remember I told you need a chamois. Because I like to stretch it over something like this. See that? And then I'll take all my mercury and I'll pour it in there like that. Just like that. Make sure you got gloves on. That's really important. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna squeeze that mercury right through that chamois. And I'm gonna clean the mercury and I'm gonna get my amalgam. See that mercury coming out? Right there, see that? Just keep on squeezing it. Tighter and tighter. Alright, I think that's it. Let's see what we got. I can feel something in there. Take a look at that. Let's see. Oh, right there. Look at that. Look at that. See that? Nice ball of amalgam. You see that? Ooh, isn't that pretty? Alright. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put him in there like that. There we go. I think I got them all. Alright, and that's our amalgam right there. I don't know if you can see all those little balls of amalgam in there. Alright, so now I'm going to show you the different ways of getting the gold out of the amalgam, okay? Because I know you want to see that. I want to see it too. The way that you can get your mercury off your gold, there's several ways you can do it. And like I told you earlier, you can use nitric acid. And that's the fastest and easiest way. Or you can use one of these guys here. This is called a retort. They make all different styles of retort, and you could probably make your own too. This is a little doggy one, and we modified it because you know me and Slim, we got to modify everything. Put a water pump on it so the water would circulate inside of this jacket here and keep this tube colder so the mercury would condense. You got vented and you got non-vented. Vented just means that if there's a pressure drop inside of here for whatever reason, it allows that pressure to come out the side. Non-vented, you could probably suck water up this tube, and if it gets in there, it's going to explode. They made the torpedo style, and it works, but the problem is where the amalgam sits, there's no contact surface between that and the heat, so it takes a long time. In the old days, the old timers would use something like this. See that? It's a potato. They cut that thing in half, then they'd hollow out a little cup in it. See that? And then they'd put the amalgam ball right there in the middle, then they'd put that little guy back together like that, and then they would wire them together, and they put them in the fire. Then they'd split that open. What happens is the mercury vaporizes and it goes into that potato. Of course, you don't eat the potato after that. Nobody's that crazy. Maybe Slim. Now, there's actually a way to charge your mercury. Make it like supercharged mercury. And how do you do that? There's actually two ways to do it. One way is to add sodium to it, which is a little bit dicey. And the other way is to cathode and an anode in a cup. And then you're going to put some lye in there, and you're going to put a 9-volt battery on that. And you put your mercury in there. That's going to supercharge that mercury. And when it's supercharged, it's going to attack that gold like nobody's business. All right, so the amalgam goes in here. Now, I see a lot of guys, they'll pour a whole bunch of mercury in this thing, and of course, it's not gonna boil it out. So you wanna make sure that your amalgam ball is completely void of as much mercury as possible. I put a little aluminum cup in there, and then I'll put my amalgam in here, and then I'll put that in here. And I like to use a little bit of putty on here too, and it'll seal the threads. That way I'm okay. And of course, me and Slim, we welded this guy up right here. And then of course, we added these tubes in here to create a recirculating water jacket in there. That way it stays nice and cool in there. On these non-vented systems, look at this. It comes down. You want a little cup down here at the very end to capture the mercury. You got this rubber tube hanging out the end here. Now, I like to put a piece of either cheesecloth or some kind of cloth taped to the end, and then that sits inside of the water here. And I don't like to have this tube submerged in there because if there's a drop in pressure, it'll suck the water up this tube, and that can be dangerous. Put the amalgam right in there like that. And I'll put him right on the end like that. All right, now anytime you do this, you make sure you're outside in a well-ventilated area. Because you don't want to look like Slim. Trust me. We let that guy cook for about 15 minutes. What you're going to do is you're going to let that air cool down and then take it off. And then you can take out your little aluminum, which looks like a cup. See that? And I put him down there in the water. Shake him out. Shake it out, baby. See that? Looks like an amalgam ball, don't it? Let's put him on the scale and see how much he weighs. Alright, let's see what we got here. Big old juicy ball. Ooh, 1.5 grams. Let me get that other little piece on there. 1.4 grams. Oh, 1.5. Now I got 1.5 there. So I'm going to heat him up, put him with some flux, clean him up, and then we'll see what we got. I know that's what you want to see, huh? Alright, let's see what we got here. That looks pretty toasty. Ooh, that is really toasty. Look at that. Yeah, that's real pretty. Look at that. Isn't that pretty looking? Yeah. Ooh, look at that. Ooh, look at that. Ain't that the prettiest thing you ever saw? Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Look at that. Isn't that the prettiest thing you ever saw? Ooh, I could just eat that. Yummy, yum, yum. You know what? I think I'm just gonna keep it like that. And you wanna know something else? I think I'm gonna give it away too. So I'm gonna give it away to one of our lucky premium patrons out there. Hey, that looks nice. Yeah, we'll give that away in one of the upcoming giveaways. Does it sound good to you? I do, you would think so. Ooh, I gotta go show Slim. I forgot all about him, come on. Ooh, Slim, look at this. Ooh, isn't that the prettiest thing you ever saw?
Wow.
Hey, this is really nice looking gold. Woo-wee. I'll put that down right there. Don't you steal that. Woo-wee, I'll tell you what, I'm tired, Slim.
Yeah.
I need a vacation. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed today's episode of Using Mercury to Amalgamate. And if you like today's episode, please rate, share, and
Subscribe.
That's right, subscribe. And of course, leave me and Slim and Nevada Jack a comment, because we like to know what you think about all this craziness going on in here, huh, Slim?
Yeah.
Woo-wee, I tell you what, and we're going to be giving that gold away. I know you don't want to hear that, Slim, but we are.
You what?
Yeah, we're going to give it away to one of our premium patrons out there. If you're not already a premium patron, now's a good time to sign up. We're going to be giving away all kinds of stuff, huh, Slim?
That's right.
What else you want to give away, Slim?
Teach me.
Anyway, till next time, this is Jeff Williams and
Slim.
That's right. That's JeffWilliams.com. Saying you want to use some mercury, but the danger makes you hesitate. Follow all my simple tricks, and you'll learn how to amalgamate. Take care, everybody.
Don't you do